Oh, we're in. So, just see if anyone in the Facebook universe is ready to roll. Talk about some goals and the power of goals, and if, are they big enough? Do they work for you? Are they strategized, planned, probable? And when I use the word probable, I really just mean possible. Physically possible. And as I mentioned on Instagram this morning and Facebook, listening to John DiMartini this morning, it's important that they're probable in the sense that, so if you've got a goal to be happy all the time, that's actually what you would call an impossible goal. I mean, I know that those of you that might think that I'm all into positive thinking, being happy all the time is in fact impossible. That's certainly what the research would suggest and what my intuition tells me. But what about your goals? I'm interested in your goals. Because goals can either take you in the direction that you want, or you could be setting yourself up to fail. So I believe that there's four key steps when it comes to setting a goal. Guys, if you're jumping on and joining me on this Facebook Live, say hello. Tell me what your goals are. Tell me what your goals are. Type your goals in the comments. And I'll take you through, and you might learn a little idea from me on how you can enhance and laser focus those goals. So what do you think about this? The 4 points to setting the goals. I call it the 4-wheel drive goal setting system. So I want you to imagine you've got to drive through the Amazon rainforest, really dense, thick rainforest. Animals, trees, bush, you see people cutting through with the big machetes. Hi, Rachel. You see people cutting through with the big machetes, really dense forest. Would you prefer to navigate through that on a bicycle or in a big, powerful Land Rover Discovery? The Discovery, right? So you can get through the terrain, the tough terrain. My belief is goals are the same. You need to set goals that will carry you through the challenges of life. Some of that tough terrain that life will throw you. People don't show up for the meeting when you thought they would. People don't invest when you thought they would. All the different challenges. So, the first W of the 4-wheel drive goal setting system is, what do you really want? Not what you think would be a good idea. Not what do you want because you've seen someone else have. What do you really want? And then you can get really specific. Hi, Aslam. How are you, my brother? You get really specific about what you really want. You can probably tell from some of my Facebook posts and the like recently that I'm quite passionate about. It's about what you want. It's not about what the gurus and the speakers and the leaders want. It's about what you want. So you get really specific about what you really want, and then you can really zone in on it. The second W is what I call the most powerful W in the 4-wheel drive system, is why. Why do you really want it? There's no right or wrong answer, again, not because you heard someone say they're doing it for humanity or for a charity or for their son or their daughter or their sister or their brother. Why do you want to do it? And then you can add lots of power. You can add lots of power to that by layering up the reasons why. So, for example, for me, I always, when I first got into personal development, when you start reading about, increasing your finances and that type of thing, I wanted more money because I used to love Ferrari F430s. And that wouldn't create much juice. That reason, the Ferrari F430 wouldn't create much juice. I mean, it was cool, it was a good idea, it would be cool to have a Ferrari, and I probably will. But it's not about that. So now, many of you know I'm an avid fundraiser for the Cystic Fibrosis Trust on behalf of my son with cystic fibrosis, and there may one day be a cure, which the NHS cannot afford. So I know that I need financial abundance, financial freedom. So when they give me that call and they say we've got the cure, but it costs £750,000, I know I've put myself in a financial situation to write the check. Can you see, as I start to use that starts to create fuel, energy, ideas within me for me to push through the challenges. Does that make sense? So it's just like many people, they come to me and say, Jermaine, I want to get in shape. Wonderful. Why? The second W. So first of all, we got to jump to the first W, which is, what do you really want? What weight do you really want? What size do you really want? What body fat percentage do you really want? Not what you've read in a magazine. What do you really want? And then the reason why people will say, I want to look good for my birthday. Okay, good. That probably will create a little bit of short-term traction for you. But what if you wanted, specifically the reason why, what if you wanted to have the healthy energy, the vibrance, the vitality to play with your children, your grandchildren and your great-great-grandchildren with lots of energy and ideas and abundance and vibrancy well into your 90s? Would that not create more energy within you to live that healthy lifestyle? So the third W then is when. When do you want it by? When do you want it by? So I see we've got some Rachel sings, I'm a woman, so sometimes I'm not sure what I want. I know you say you're not sure, Rachel, but if you were sure, what do you want? What do you really want? And Aslam said, will. See that powerful word from Aslam there? He said, I will add 2 more real estate to my portfolio. I will. It's not I'd like to, or it would be I'd like the idea of adding 2. It says, I will add 2 more real estate to my portfolio. Beautifully put. Again, that creates that traction. So when, Aslam, when will you add the 2 more real estate properties to your portfolio? Because I'm sure you will, but I'm guessing that you're not thinking 60 years time. You've got a date idea. Oh, here we go. Before the end of December 17. Look at that. Beautiful. So that's specific. The end of December 17, 31st of December, Aslam will have 2 more real estate properties in his portfolio. You see, it's just like going on holiday. You only get there because you know what date you're going. And the beauty of knowing the when, the third W of the 4-wheel drive goal setting system, the when, it allows you to readjust. So let's say you're looking to shred down to 10% body fat. But you meet the challenge, you've got short on time, and you have a Domino's or a McDonald's or a KFC, wherever it might be. But you know that by the 31st of December 2017, you're going to be 10% body fat. So what do you think happens after that? You readjust. You burn a few more calories in the gym the next day. You eat a little bit better for the next week. By knowing when, you start to readjust as you come towards that goal. Rachel Singers, to be fair, I know I want more money, so I have more freedom, but I'm not sure how I want to create it sometimes. Okay, let me see what I got for you here, Rachel. Look at this. This is what I mean about getting specific about what you really want. So, I could give you this £20, Rachel, and that would be goal achieved, right? More money. What if you said you will create an extra, let's say an extra £1,000 per month by December 2018, which then contributes to whatever freedom you're talking about. Does this make sense? And then you can start to specify, you can get true to your values as to how you move on to create it. Does that make sense? So the final W is what? This is what I call the loosest wheel. If the Y is the most important wheel, the final W is what must you do to achieve the goal. That's what I call the loosest wheel. You're never going to know every step of the journey. But what can you do right now? What can you do right now? So, Aslam, for example, in the world we live in, you could just take one quick action on that goal that you've just set, that you've just talked about. And I'm looking over here because I've got another screen over here, by the way. You could Google, you could look for real properties for sale, right? Rachel, you could create a little thought map. You could write down ways I can create my financial freedom that are true and authentic to me. And you could just thought map many different ideas as to how you create that. So there's always something you can do. If you want to get in shape, I could Google personal trainers, South Wales. Nutrition plans for 25 to 30-year-old males. You can take a small action. So just to recap, what do you really want? Specifically, not what someone else wants, not what you thought was a good idea, not because £1 million sounds good. What do you really want? Why do you really want it? Not some wishy-washy things you've heard. Why do you really want it? And it's okay to stack the whys. Yes, of course, let's say you want your children, your grandchildren to have a phenomenal life. Fantastic. And you really envision that and what that means to that creates energy. But it's okay to want freedom for yourself as well. Add that reason why. Then when do you want it by? Set the date. Set a specific date. And I will do that now. Fantastic, Rachel. Now in capital letters. Now is all we've got. And now is all we've got. And now is all we've got. So that ties in actually to the point of when. Because when you know when, you can take action during each now and enjoy each now as you achieve the goal, the freedom, the real estate portfolio, the body. Does this make sense? And then finally, what can you do? You can always do something right now. And then once you're in that state of flow and you're staying true to yourself, things, ideas, people's, books, opportunities, networking events, you'll start to spot them. But this is a process that it's not a magic wand. I mean, as I always say, there is no magic wand. But it's about playing the odds. If you went through this process, this 4-wheel drive goal setting process, created your goals this way, you went over them every single day, you reconnected, not in a wishy-washy, it's for my why. I mean, it's like a bit of a buzzword now, isn't it? My why. It's why do you want, why bother? Why achieve those goals? And identify with what that means for you. Then you can visualize and embody what that'll feel like when, and as Aslam says, he will achieve it, when it's achieved before that date that you set. Then you can take the next action. And all you're doing there is playing the odds. Does this make sense? Sometimes we think that there's this, and there may well be this esoteric force at play. Of course, it may be. But regardless of what forces we may not understand are at play, the universe or God or whatever you personally believe in, the research, just qualitatively looking around, would suggest that we have to do something. This makes sense? So hopefully this video inspires you to delve into your goals, write some goals, refine your goals, reconnect with why you're even striving for these things, and make sure that they're true to what you're looking to achieve and why you are looking to achieve them. And as with everything else, you could just not like any of these ideas, and that's also fine. I also want you to identify with the idea yourself if you're going to take any of these points on board. Does this make sense? Otherwise, just thinking, the guy in the screen said it's a good idea, so I'll just do it. No. If you identify with some of the ideas, take action on them. If not, that's cool. So, for this evening now, I'm going to be going over my goals once again, going over the what, the when, the why. Because if you do that twice a day, then you build up that momentum. But my friends, I lean in for dramatic effect. My friends, there is no magic wand. Personal development. Allow yourself to develop. Create the ideas, take action on the ideas, develop, grow, and then people will see you as an overnight success. Or I can't believe people pay you that much money. Or I can't believe you have such an amazing relationship. Or how did you get so ripped? Oh, it must be your genes. They're not going to see all of this. They're not going to see all of this behind the scenes stuff, notepads and clipboards, and they're not going to see all of this, and pens and writing and books and laptops and multiple screens. They're not going to see all of this, but that's okay, because what you practice in this private arena, you will be rewarded for in public. That's for sure. So, guys, if you've been watching live with me, thank you so much. Kerry Roberts, love it. Love you too, Kerry. If you've been watching with me, fantastic. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for your interaction, guys. And if you're watching the replay, again, type in the comments, send me a message. I'm open to all of your questions. I go through as many as I can, late of an evening, early in the morning. And thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep going and keep growing, my friends.